Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
My girl, talking about my girl. Yeah, guys, welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Cy.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 78. Yeah! We in here.
Okay.
That's a lot of episodes.
I know. I kind of like when I was writing the outline today, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, honestly, I was wanting to start off that song or this episode with another song that was similar to this, but it's like I think I'm gonna play it just because like I'm in a mood right now, Veronica.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm sorry. I just you know, I gotta get hyped for this show. It's a little something different, right? Starting off with some oldies.
That's like our vibe, though.
I know. I want to. I'll be working my way back to you, babe. Woo! With a burning love inside. Yeah, I'm working my way guys. I won't keep it going because Veronica will freak out if we don't go to format. We have a show to run here. She's freaking out.
I'm a Capricorn. I love a good outline, routine.
I'm the same way as a Scorpio, but I like to switch it up once in a while. How are you, V?
You know, I'm alive.
So am I.
I'm breathing. I've had a lot of work lately at the company. And I've been like very stressed. But like I'm feeling better. I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit more at ease.
Yeah? What, today?
I just like had some stuff that you had deadlines recently. I kind of had deadlines, and then I had a little training that I was running for folks in one of our other markets at the company, and I don't know what, like, it's funny because I had to record this training, right? And so like I did a little slideshow, and I recorded myself talking about it. And you know, I listen to our podcast twice a week, and I've gotten over the hump of, you know, everyone's like, I hate the way I sound recorded. And like, I've gotten over that hump with this podcast where I'm like, no, like this is fine. But I do pick myself apart literally every single time I listen. I'm like, oh shit, I should have said this. I could have said that.
We all
whatever. But sitting on this call, a conference call, listening to people listen/watch me on a video.
It was harsh.
Like of them, like literally, and it was 15 minutes. It was only 15 minutes. Like these podcasts are like, you know, hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like texting my friend Jenna, who works for the company in Tampa.
Yeah.
Like that I had worked with her to do this with. And I was texting her, I was like, oh my God, here are my regrets for how I sound. She's like, you sound fine. Like, what are you talking about?
It is different though when you have to talk about like some like work stuff.
Yeah, I'm like telling people like how to avoid copyright issues on social media. Like this is like what like that's what I was doing. I was like, okay guys, like this is how you like.
Yeah, PowerPoint voice is like always a kind of annoying.
Yeah, well, and I tried it because I feel like, you know, your mom / sometimes my mom has told us that we talk fast sometimes, and I feel like we've picked up a good cadence now on this show, but it's still like conversational where it's not like, you know, instructional, where I had to like make sure I slowed down my voice and everything for going through, you know, like 8 slides.
Right.
I didn't want to be like, so blah, 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 blah. Okay, next.
My mom listens to our show like I watch Gilmore Girls. Like, holy crap, they're talking fast. But I still swear my mom's listening on like ×2 or something.
I swear to God, she might be. Even like when I've listened to, I remember I had to pick out a piece of one of the show when we like were talking about something last week after the show. I listened to us on 1.5 to like get to the park. So like, I know it's coming soon, but I like just got to get there quicker. And I was like, holy shit, we sound like chipmunks.
Yeah, it was awesome. So how was your last weekend, though? You do anything fun?
I don't know. I just went to Music Midtown with this guy named Cy.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and then my friends Maggie and Catherine came in town.
Shout out to them.
Woo! They came in. So Catherine lives in Chattanooga. They were like some of my first friends in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Met them met my friend Maggie. So like I did Bumble BFF when I first got here.
It's so funny to me.
It's funny, well, but I had no friends.
Well, I mean, it's just funny
And I
that
was-
like a group of like cool group of girls actually like all did it and became friends. But like,
Yeah.
I just would never think of like going to an app to find friends.
Well, me neither. But
Yeah.
like I also lived alone, and I made some friends through like workout stuff that I did.
Yeah.
And I obviously made friends through work.
Yeah.
But I like was like, okay, I need more friends. when I was in
Gotta collect them all.
college, when I was in college, like I had a lot. I mean, I still have
Yeah.
all those friends, but whatever. So like we met through so I befriended this girl named Chelsea on Bumble BFF, and then she invited a whole bunch of people that she had met through Bumble BFF to her pool for a pool party.
Yeah.
And so Maggie came to that, and she had met Catherine through this Facebook group called Green Bean Social that like hosts different events and things like that. Like I'm on that one, and then like Atlanta Social Club and whatever. And so they met, and then I think we hung out with like Chelsea and a couple of her other friends, like maybe like a couple more times. And then like we realized like Chelsea was really fucking annoying.
Oh my God, poor Chelsea. What if she listens?
She doesn't. I don't think she I don't think she even remembers me.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't. And if she does, I don't really care.
Okay.
And-
Shots fired.
and-
Chelsea.
She was whatever.
We don't fuck with Chelsea at this house.
In this house. And so then Catherine, Maggie and I became really close friends. And then Catherine moved to Chattanooga for a new job. So we visited her in Chattanooga a couple times. And then Catherine's from Iowa originally. And she moved to Chicago like a couple years ago. Now at this point, like a year and a half ago, for a new job. And so like I've seen her a couple times up in the city when I go into the city when I go back home. So then this was like kind of our big reunion for everyone to come to me and to go to Music Midtown. And so we did that, and you got to tag along for the galpal reunion.
Yeah, that was cool. I had friends for the weekend.
Yeah, and we got to meet up with like we found John V at one point.
Did we?
We did.
Okay.
And then
Was I around?
Yes.
Okay.
And we found JD.
I remember JD.
Yeah. And then I didn't ever get to meet up with my friends Mackenzie and Aaron and Erica, but
Well, Music Midtown was really fun.
it was crazy. So many teens.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's
many
just
teens.
every year is just
I
going to
had
keep
a-
getting more. So
I guess I don't know if I'll call him an ex, but I guess an ex. He texted me because I guess I walked past him at one point.
yeah.
I wasn't like looking around.
Yeah.
But he was like, "You passed me. Did you see me?" And I was like, "No. Like, you should have said hi." Like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'll have to like come and say hi," because like if I had just passed, I'm like, "Oh, I'll have to come say hi." It's like, "Oh, I'm here with my girlfriend." I'm like, "Yeah, well, duh. Like, I'm not coming there to like suck your dick."
Oh
Like-
my God. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, like what? And he's all like, "Ugh," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'll have to say hi." Or
Did you say
if I-
really say that part on the
No,
text?
he's just like LOL, and I was like, "Okay, well, I didn't say the suck your dick part, but
I know,
I was just
that
like,
was
I was like, well, duh, whatever." And he's like, "Ooh," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'll say hi if I see you." And he's like, "Cool, like." I'll give you a big kiss. And I was like, no, you won't. Why would you give me a big kiss,
Yeah.
you weirdo?
That is weird.
He was weird. And then like
He was weird.
and then he texted me like later after like Sunday, and he's like, "Oh, bah, I can't believe we didn't see each other." I was like, "Yeah, bah, haha." And he's like, "There's so many teenage girls like at Music Midtown. The demographics have totally changed." I'm like, "There's just a bunch of teenagers in general."
Yeah, but
like,
it's nice that you noticed the girls.
Yeah, and then he's like, "No, mostly girls." And I was like, "Okay,
Okay.
creep."
That's funny. A text exchange. Yeah, Charlie Puth was sick though.
Charlie Puth was great, and also I feel like you really vibed with him because he was wearing a little bandana tied around his neck.
I was doing bandana tied around my neck.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I knew he was cool.
Yeah, I saw Lizzo. She was great as usual, and
Jada Smith. I saw Panic at the Disco, which was legit.
Cardi was so fun. Cardi
Yeah.
still has the fucking moves. Like she was out there
Yeah.
on the stage singing and twerking and lifting her head above her lifting her leg above her head and like doing twerks while rapping. I was like, okay, Cardi, I'm here for it.
Dope. Well, that's entertainment for you. Well, I'm still just kind of getting back on my
Yeah.
feet from that. Luckily,
I feel like I've been struggling sleeping.
Yeah. Well,
Past
my
couple
problem is
nights.
that like because of the deadlines deadlines at work I had to do and how tired I've been from that weekend, I have not been able to catch up and go like to
Kinda
the gym. And like the gym helps me like sleep and like
same.
Yeah.
I was literally just talking about this with like my friends earlier today because I'm like I've been so tired, but then like I can't fall asleep, and I've only worked out like once this week, and it was like a sad little baby workout.
No, I got to train it tomorrow.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna go work out tomorrow morning. High fives to us.
Get that into
we could do it.
I was like messed up my whole week because I'm going to this wedding this weekend and stuff, and I'm like wanting to be like as like fit as possible. I mean, I'm still
you
fit.
still look great.
Thanks, appreciate it, buddy.
I mean, you'll feel great hopefully. By
I do
that
feel
time.
great already. I'm just saying, like you know. But yeah, I guess we might as well get into some. I don't know, like catch us playing quick hits. What do we got for some quick hits, V?
So. New Music November is gonna be lit.
Yeah, my birthday's in November too. So.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I see. Like I was picturing this as me being at like Thanksgiving dinner, being like, and I'm thankful for Rihanna's new CD. What am I? Drake's new album. Kanye's
new DVD.
New album.
Kanye's new
Migos
VHS.
new album, and The Weeknd's new album. Like this,
A-track.
my family's gonna be like. My brothers will be like, yeah, I mean, yeah. But
said CD.
I know. Why did I say CD?
Where you gonna go get it? FYE?
Those are like out. Those are
or whatever they were called. Sam Ash or
no, I get it
Sam
from
Ash
like
still a
Target.
thing.
There's probably like a special edition. They still sell. I have the CD of the Jonas Brothers, their new album, because they sent it as part of like their tickets.
Oh, cool.
Like that was their whole thing, because their whole thing was they would always go to Times Square to I think it's like the Verizon store in Times Square or like whatever that was, for their new CDs whenever it dropped like at midnight, and like that was their whole big thing, so that's why like they sent it to their fans being like, here's our
Oh, that's so cool.
It was
The
super
Joe Bros.
cute. I know, right?
Oh man. Anyways, so new music is dropping. We got all
I'm
those
excited
people.
for Rihanna.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. But we'll see what kind of music she comes
And
with.
I'm excited for The Weeknd too,
I'm excited for Kanye and Drake.
because The Weeknd, him and Bella, I believe they're broken up. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of the Jonas Brothers,
Yeah.
Nick Jonas has his new tequila company, and I'm just hyped to try it because it's supposed to be like super crisp, super like filtered for taste, like the right way and everything. And I'm a tequila lover. I love it.
What if you don't like it?
If I don't like his tequila, I think I'm gonna have to just like, I don't know, exit the world. Like,
Oh my God, you're so
like,
ridiculous.
I have to like his tequila, right? Like, come on. It's
Yeah, but you're gonna be the only person at the party. Like, no, it's like so good. And they're like, no, Veronica, stop trying to push this Nick
well,
Jonas'
not everybody
tequila.
likes tequila, so like I'm not gonna expect everyone to like his tequila. Plus,
Are you gonna be like picking it up and like going to the parties with it and stuff?
I'll like mix my own drinks. You know?
You're gonna. I just
might
wonder how
just-
hard you're gonna support it.
I'm gonna have to. Well, I need to actually like look up where you can buy it and see like where it's.
Everybody
gonna be.
has a liquor now. It's crazy.
I love. Well, they're smart. I mean, like some of like tequila is like a big one. I feel like tequila must be one of the easier ones to work with and do.
I guess, but like I'm just wondering like how much money do they actually make? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, fucking what's his name? Who am I? I'm blanking. Hot George Clooney. He
Hot George Clooney. I love how that's the only clue that like you gave me. I should have known. I don't know. What was I thinking?
George
I'm dumb.
Clooney, like, you know, he made his tequila brand and then sold it for like $1 bajillion. So like, good for him. I don't
Man,
know.
all right. Well, I need to make some tequila then. What else we got?
So you know.
Oh, the tale of the Tennessee shirt.
So you were saying some shit last week, being all like blah blah blah.
I actually had people reach out to me and agree with me with my like. They were like, "Yeah, like what the hell?" Like I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you were wrong.
No. I'm just saying.
I mean, like it was at least the proceeds were all going to a good
I'm just
cause.
shouting out the listeners that hit me up and interacted and agreed with me.
And so
What happened?
they are University of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be giving this kid who, you know, created the little shirt and then they made it into a shirt and they're giving the proceeds to. Oh, you could like literally buy it. I hate that fucking Tennessee orange. It's so gross. They are giving. Oh my God, the marching band wore the shirts too.
Oh my God, Rhonda, they're giving the kid a 4-year scholarship.
They're giving him a 4-year scholarship.
I called it last week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just
and
like
he's even a Florida boy. How does that make you feel?
it feels great. I mean, the Florida like teams are probably like, man, F this kid, but whatever.
Whatever. He's a Tennessee fan.
Well, that's what's up. I'm glad he's getting it because. It's true. Like, well, it's weird that like to me that should have been the first news that came out.
You just hit me in the face with my mic.
Oh well, good thing it has a pop filter on it that's soft. So
It's soft.
It looks like Whitney Houston's going back on tour, which is like, how is that possible, V?
Thanks for that tee up. How is that possible, bitch?
I'm just wondering because she's dead.
They're doing a hologram of her.
Oh my God.
The Whitney Houston hologram tour. It's like gonna be
who's doing it?
A world tour. I don't know her estate.
Are they really?
I guess like who else has?
Do you think people will go to it?
Yeah, people are gonna go to it. I don't think it's gonna do as well as they think.
I think people who go to that show might just go to hell too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, like they were talking about it on the radio. Thing, like, yeah, you could throw whatever. Like, go through her on like stage. Like, cause she's not real.
Cause it's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
That's weird.
Ghost.
I think that's really weird because like they were talking about doing it with like Tupac a little while ago.
Yes, yeah, that was the whole thing. Like, I feel like everyone's talked about the whole like Tupac hologram situation, but
would you go to if like all the Jonas Brothers, like God forbid, like died in an airplane crash?
Christ. Would I go to a hologram? No.
You wouldn't go to a Joe Bro hologram?
No, I would be mourning. I could not go.
What would you think? Like, what would you say to the fan that was like, I'm a bigger fan because I want to go see their show, support their estate,
I just
watch their
it just
ghosts.
Feels, my thing is like, unless like they explicitly wrote like, I want you to make sure this, especially like even with like music that's come out from like other deceased artists or like music that's going to be released, like unless they like wrote somewhere or said somewhere or whatever that this is kind of like how they wanted their things to be, you know, put out after they died, it makes me feel uneasy. Like,
they did like Carrie Fisher and like Star Wars and stuff like that.
Well, that's not like she wasn't a hologram. Like,
no, but they like use like footage of her like after she's already been dead in newer movies.
Yeah, but that's like because they were mid filming and
she was
died.
like, "Yes, you can use my likeness."
Yeah,
and then she passed away.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, but
no, it's weird.
It is. I mean, it's weird.
What if she does covers too? Like covers of like newer songs. She's like, "Take my horse to the old town road." That'd be crazy. Or what if she was like, "Thank you, next."
Okay, stop it. See, that's weird. So like, she's gonna have. The hologram of Whitney Houston's gonna have a live band, backup singers, and dancers
that are all gonna go to hell,
performing alongside this projection of Whitney Houston.
I don't know. I guess that's like not much different
weird.
than like, you know, people playing like music of like different bands and stuff, like doing light shows,
but it is
like the Beatles light
this
show.
This is more like using their exact likeness. This is them. This is projecting.
Have you seen that Miley Cyrus episode of Black Mirror yet?
No.
What is wrong with you?
I told you I don't.
It's crazy.
I'm like just now watching all of The Good Place.
Just watch that episode. It's like a little movie, but it's really good and it kind of reminds me of that. But anyways,
so yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little creepy to me. I just feel like it feels a little.
Yeah, your
odd.
girl Lizzo tripped out this week. What happened?
So she you know, it's been a long road for her. She's been touring, she's doing the whole thing. So
we just saw her.
I just saw her. Whatever. So she was hangry.
Mm-hmm.
Got some Postmates.
As Lizzo gets.
As anyone gets.
Whoa.
I get hangry as fuck.
Okay.
And she got some Postmates and then I claims that her Postmates delivery person stole her food because she, you know.
I like how you start like getting whispery
she
about
thought,
it because it's Lizzo you're defending.
No, because Lizzo fessed up at the end. So she thought that this food delivery person came in, didn't even try to drop the food with, you know, the front desk person or whatever, and then just left with it. Just made it and checked in and whatever, but then left with the food. But, you know, as it happens with Postmates or Seamless or Grubhub or DoorDash or whatever, like you gotta, like they each have a little allotment window that like if you don't answer, you don't reply, then they can leave with your food because you didn't get there. And so I think she went over her allotment window, didn't get it. But whatever, so she was like reaming her on Twitter, like kind of like being all like Postmates, like this girl just stole my food, like blah blah blah, like this is ridiculous. And also like kind of like was showing her face, was showing her like her little thing for like the little screenshot from the thing on Postmates.
It's not cool.
On Twitter, and like, you know, Postmates were responding being like, I'm so sorry, like we'll make sure you get your stuff, blah 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 blah. But so she realized this was all not safe and not good for her to be doing for this person. So she
I'm sure people started tweeting at her like, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah, she deleted all her stuff, and she made a big apology, tweeted out an apology, posted everything on Instagram as well, being like, hey, like, you know, this was wrong of me to do. This was so dangerous for me to do for her. Like, she could get attacked. Like, she's like, I'm still learning about, like, my growing fan base. And, like, this is, like, not something that I should be ever doing. Like, I got caught up in my petty and my anger, and I should never have, like, done this. Like, I hope you guys, like, give me grace. I'm, like, learning and whatever, because this is, you know.
So did she ever like? So is Postmates like she's cool with Postmates? She's gonna keep using Postmates.
Yeah, she's chill. Yeah. So she said, "I apologize for putting that girl on blast. I understand I have a large following, and that there are so many variables that could have put her in danger. I'm really gonna be more responsible with my use of social media and check my petty and my pride at the door."
Imagine if like that girl got like killed or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And like
Lizzo would have been like, oh my God, like her whole career just gone.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's like,
crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. But I mean, I have to honor that, like, you know, she at least took full responsibility for like how she acted.
Yeah.
And then, you know, made sure people knew that that's not something that she should be doing, and deleting things so that hopefully this woman, you know, doesn't get attacked or anything in the future, and working everything out. And like, she's like even said stuff on her Instagram stories and whatever, being like, hey, like, this isn't okay. Like, this is not the example I want to be setting, et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, good.
She's good to go.
Yo, what's going on with one of our favorite boy band members?
Have I said on this podcast how I hugged Aaron Carter high in a Hooters parking lot in mid-Missouri?
What? Aaron Carter, he was high?
Yeah, of course he was.
That's funny.
He was
of course he was. Is he Aaron Carter? Is his name Aaron?
Is right.
His last name Carter? He was high.
Come on. Does he want candy?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyways, I did. He came and performed at Mizzou a couple of times actually during my tenure there. Very bizarre. But he like was tweeting whatever. My friend and I followed where he was tweeting and saying, he's like, come find me. And he went to a Hooters, and then I guess he had been hotboxing his little tour van with his crew because he came, like, we got there, it was late. Yes.
Yeah, no, just keep telling your story. This is what was happening on the bus.
And yeah, no, this is probably, honestly, and they're smoking some big old doobies. And
keep telling your story.
And he came out, and so like my friend and I were there, like, and he's like, you guys can't take pictures, so 'cause he was high out of his butt. He was high as a kite.
Yeah.
I think I got contact high just from being next to him, but he let us hug him. So that's my claim to fame, is that I hugged him. And then he sororities, like one of the times he came and played, like there's a competition between the sororities, so like a sorority would win to have him for like the after party.
Yeah.
So like, you know, then got to like live up, like I guess he was like made a fool of himself like at these sororities too. Like he was super creepy. He would like kiss all these girls. He would do meet and greets, and he'd like full on kiss every girl that he like would do meet and greets with. So gross.
Jeez.
So he's got some problems.
Well, it sounds like, what is he doing these days?
These days, his own siblings, Nick Carter, as we all know from his, you know, stint in a boy band, and his twin sister, I believe, Angel, are seeking a restraining order against Aaron Carter because he has been saying kind of things that are dangerous, that would put them in danger, and has confessed that he has intentions of killing Nick Carter's pregnant wife. And like,
is this drugs?
I think yes.
Does he still want candy?
He wants some kind of candy. That's for damn sure. So even Nick was like, I hope, like we're doing every measure that we can to protect like our family and to hopefully protect him from himself. Like hopefully he starts getting the proper treatment. Like we want to make sure he gets the proper treatment that he needs before any harm comes to himself or others. Like it's just nuts.
That's so sad. I mean, that's just like what fame does, and
Well, yeah, and like Aaron has like.
That's why I'm like really like surprised like the
guns
Backstreet Boys like are still able like to like work together and do their thing and stuff, because like 5 of those guys together, Aaron Carter can't even hold himself together. Like
no, he can't. So yeah, so there's
he has guns, you said?
Yeah, I think he's like shown that off on his like Instagram or stuff before.
Jeez.
But now and like Aaron Carter fired back at his brother being like, take care, Nick Carter, we're done for life. Like, I haven't even seen you in years. Like, how could you even say that I'd be doing this and whatever? And he's like saying that how he wouldn't hurt a fly. I've never been accused of rape. I've never been accused of beating Paris Hilton. How am I the violent one? Ooh.
Goodness.
So like
shots fired.
So the Carter family is struggling.
Oh, he did have some points though.
Struggling.
What else we got? Some
So we have Nick Viall from his many stints in The Bachelor.
Bachelor Nation. Bachelor in Paradise.
Bachelorette.
Okay. All of them.
Okay.
Just if you didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, he did 2. He was on 2 Bachelorette seasons.
Yeah.
1 Bachelor in Paradise season. And then his own Bachelor season.
Yep.
Not as many as Chris that was on this season of Bachelor in Paradise. He was on 6 seasons, but
Nick walked away with no girls.
None.
Yeah.
He's single as a Pringle.
Until.
So he's been flirting with Rachel Bilson of, the early aughts, early 2000s fame. She was Summer on the OC.
Yeah.
The OC.
I mean, I think she's pretty. I just never thought she was like the hot girl.
She's not, and I don't like this. This sounds mean, but like she hasn't like aged super well. She's definitely like, I mean, she's 38. He's 38. So like at least they're like the same age. And she had the like whatever, it was like Heart of Dixie was the show where she was a doctor. She had a couple other things that she was in, but it's just an interesting
I like
combo.
the OC, but I thought her character was annoying. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
But maybe all their
they're all a little annoying.
Yeah, but well, good for him. Just more evidence that celebrities are starting to bleed into each other with the Bachelor.
It really is.
It's almost like the cool thing. It's making being on Bachelor even cooler than being like a superstar, like singer or like actor or something.
It's just like their level of celebrity has been heightened so much in these past years because it's
like a cool kids club.
Well, like they start going to like they've been going to like the different like award shows, or like they go to, because a lot of them have podcasts and stuff through like iHeart. They get to go to like the different iHeart big concert events, and then because of that, they get to go to other big events, and then they might help. Rachel Lindsay works for, I forget, but like I think she's on like different like ABC affiliates and does different like announcements.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I think she just got like the official podcast of The Bachelor. She just started that with somebody else or something. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I knew she's doing a show.
Yeah, on MTV. With this guy like
Travis Mills.
Do you remember him? He was like a rapper, T Mills.
Yeah.
Now he's like, "Hi, I'm Travis Mills." I'm like,
he's cute.
Whatever. He's just tall.
He is tall.
Tatted.
He is tall.
Anywho,
tall.
what else we talking about here for quick hits?
I don't know if this is really.
All right. Well, then let's talk about what made you go yikes this week, besides our experiences this weekend.
Yikes. So mini yikes. So Joe Keery, aka Steve Harrington, aka I love him.
Okay.
He's got great hair, right? Wrong.
No.
Because he cut it.
Okay. Why is this a yikes?
Because he's known for his hair.
All right, I got to see what this guy
Steve
is.
the Hair Harrington.
Oh, you're talking about the kid from Stranger Things.
Yes.
Okay.
That's literally what I said.
Well, he needed to cut his hair.
Oh, no, he didn't.
First of all, it's for Stranger Things. They're probably going into the future or something like that. And then secondly, his hair is like ugly.
No,
Dude, yeah, he has ugly
his
hair.
hair is It's voluminous. It's voluptuous.
No.
It's great. He styled it great, and also I think it works for his face better when it's kind of longer and whatever.
You think so?
Yes.
It looks like he has like Rachel's hair from Friends or something. That's what it looks
No,
like to
not
me.
at all.
Yeah, yep.
Not at all, because Rachel's hair came down in layers. It's
He
literally
looks
not
like he
the
has every
same.
season of Rachel's hair put together in one. Yeah.
Actually, not at all. But
Well,
okay.
I think he looks good with his haircut.
No, have you seen the fucked up bangs? What are you talking about?
I think I like it.
They're like, oh, Sai, you're just saying.
I'm joking. He looks ugly as hell. Why did he do that?
It's so bad. But I guess there had been recent pictures that came out of him where he kind of he did his bangs better. So hopefully he's going to be looking better.
Wow. Yeah, he looks terrible.
Right? It changes the way his face looks so much.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, don't.
No,
It's gonna be one of the images.
Just everybody, yeah. It has
So
to.
of this
everybody,
week.
just
So
understand
bad.
your face shape and understand what works for you. Let this be a lesson.
It took me a long time to understand, but what else made you go yikes?
So, SNL just announced some new cast members.
Finally.
Huh?
Well, I feel like the last couple new ones that they've introduced haven't been that great.
Well,
I'm hoping
they just announced like 3 or 4 new ones.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was Shane Gillis, and he lasted 4 days.
Really?
He lasted 4 days. He was fired because Homeboy has a crazy amount of videos and podcasts and whatever that are where he's saying stuff that is extremely targeted to Chinese or Asian Americans, making jokes. I'm using air quotes, using different slurs or just saying different things or how there's too many of them, or saying don't go to Chinatown because of all the I'm not gonna say the word the slur for Chinese people. Doing my thing is just as SNL, as Lorne Michaels, and a cursory Google search could just be are we? And then, but enough shit. And also, he was hired in the batch that included the first ever East Asian cast member for SNL. So it just doesn't look super great. That's great on SNL for having, actually getting a little bit more diversity. That's something that they've struggled with for such a long time, where it came to the point where Keenan was yo, you need to hire some black females. So this isn't fair. I shouldn't be playing I'm the token black person. You're making me play every black character.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
they would make them do impersonations that were ridiculous.
Yeah, because it's just ridiculous. It's just so stupid. So, and he's also made fun of talking defamatory things against LGBTQ folks, women, just most people. And Bowen Yang is the one that's gonna be this new full-time cast member who's East Asian, the first one ever.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't a good look for SNL.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I'm excited though. SNL is one of those shows that I just always love to watch. Every week I gotta watch it. So I'm excited to see what the new stuff brings to the new season. Yeah. Well, let's get into our main topic. This main topic, is just came out of. I mean, I'll let you explain it.
Okay, so it came out of my friend Catherine. She came.
Oh, we're name dropping.
Well, we're gonna name drop.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
We're gonna just name drop the text. We're gonna name drop her the text that she got.
Okay.
So, she had been she met some dude when they were when she went floating with some friends down the river, whatever. They had been texting briefly, and she had just asked him the whole whatever, how's your day been, whatever, and he hadn't been responding a lot. And then he just responded super hectic. That was it. Yeah. And then she was well, what am I supposed to do with that? How am I supposed to what am I supposed to feel? Homie can't that's all he's gonna say to me. What does this mean? / how can I even respond?
Yeah, I gave my 2 cents on it, which is just it's pretty easy. A person that's excited to text you back. This is why important, communication is important with everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You might be saying more even more than you want to be by not communicating enough. So if a person is taking a long time to respond to you, that's like them pretty much like, I think like if I want to respond to someone, I would text them right away, right?
Yeah, or I mean, I'm someone who I purposely have my read receipts on to keep me real. So if I don't respond right away, it's because I'm doing other shit, and I purposely am not gonna respond until.
Yeah, but a response like that also like would be like super hectic. But like, how are you? How is your day? Especially like, when someone's asking you how your day's going, it's like pretty like respectful to just ask how their day's going too, right?
Well, yeah. Or slash, this guy was kind of the one who had made some of the initial moves with like reaching out and texting and whatever. So
really, I don't know if that. I thought she said something else.
I thought
she like
he made like one of the initial moves.
I'm not sure if I remember the beginning of it, but regardless, like, you know, even if it was super hectic, like a person could like explain themselves a little bit more, and actually if it was super hectic and you had to like text back late, like,
or just be like, hey, sorry, like got caught up with this or that, like,
yeah, there's a way to like set the tone to be like, I'm sorry type thing, but like just by responding back super hectic, that's not good. Like, you know, yeah. I just think that would mean that the person, because if you don't make a response, that person's never going to respond to you again. Like, you know,
that's the thing is, I know, and like, so we kind of like chastised her, being like, well, you should have like tried to respond right away, because then that would have been like, you would have known for sure like what his feelings were. And so then she did end up like texting him like a day or two later, because she was with us at that point, and he never responded. So, but like, it's like it potentially could have went a different way, or she could have gotten a little bit more clarity, buzzword of this season of Bachelor in Paradise, if she had said, just kind of been like, oh, like whatever, right back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in just like, he or she is just not that into you or whatever, you know?
Great movie.
Right. I mean, I actually need to watch it again, because I
haven't seen it in a while.
But the concept of that phrase, like that, like they're just not that into you, is like for real. Like, you know, I think if a person wants to pursue you, they're gonna make time. And,
I mean, yeah.
And it's something I've been like dealing with myself personally, like trying to invest my time into other people and stuff. It's like, you know, how much is it worth it? And, you know, you feel like everyone's busy, you know, everyone's busy. So that super hectic line is like not even an excuse. It's like, yo, my life's super hectic too.
Everyone's busy. And also I just hate the whole culture of like, ooh, I'm just so busy. My life is so busy. And like the whole idea that everyone's like just driving themselves into the fucking ground.
Right.
It's just like so ridiculous. And just like, I even think about like my relationship with my boyfriend and how we like discussed recently, because we were kind of like, we were having like a cutesy talk, being like, how did you know you liked me? And how
did you know you liked me? Cutesy talk.
And we brought up the fact that like the first week that we met, we went on like 4 dates that week. But I hate sappy shit. But and he was like, wow, yeah, And I even had told him, like, at the end of that week, I'm like, you're never going to see me this much in a week ever again. Like, this isn't my style. But, like, I made it work.
Yeah.
Like, I did that. And he, like, when we were talking about this recently, he's like, yeah, I must have really, really liked you if I was
making the time.
If I was making these plans to see you that many times.
Right. And, you know, I think I was telling you before the show, or I've told you before, that like one of my tells of like when I like someone is specifically I can talk on the phone with them for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, when you like someone, you could be on the phone like when you come home, like while you're like doing dishes, or like, you know, you make that time.
Are you like a phone talker in general?
No, not really.
See, I am. So
well,
like,
I could talk on the phone, but I'm just saying like to spark up the conversation with the person.
Yeah, but like to be able to,
to like, you know, keep it going when you have like a pause, instead of being like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go. Like you just like something else starts another part of the conversation. That's one of the first signs for me that I'm actually like, uh-oh, that's when I start like worrying like, oh shoot, I think I like this girl, because most of the time, like,
God forbid you have feelings for somebody else.
No, not that. I'm just saying like you can tell like if you're not texting back somebody, or you're just like, you feel like you're an obligation to have to respond and stuff. That's a sign for you to know personally that like just you're better off investing your time in something else or someone else, you know. So I think a lot of times people try to force or like have this really romantic thing, and I'm the same way. I'm a lover boy.
Yeah, you definitely are. You're a romantic.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But you know, at the end of the day, you know, if it's just not working, then just like move on and accept it. You know, it's like better for everybody, and without like, you know, you don't have to be mean about it or whatever. Just be like, whatever, that person doesn't deserve me.
Yeah, kind of. I had a discussion with one of my friends earlier today because she like, went on a little first date, coffee date today, and she's someone who has a very specific type.
I hate types.
Yeah, she has a very specific type, and she already was kind of like discounting this guy from the get-go, from the beginning of the day, being like, oh, he's not my type, blah, 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 this isn't going to work out. I'm like, well, give him a chance. Like, she stayed, obviously, for the entire, like, you know, coffee conversation or whatever, and then, like, this dude went back, because this was during the day, went back to work, and he was like texting her being like, oh, blah, 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 like, I probably could have stayed another hour longer, because like nobody even noticed I was gone and I was having so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And like she already knew that she wasn't even vibing with his personality either. Like she just wasn't feeling it. And like she was continuing the conversation. She was like texting in a group text with me and like one of my other girlfriends being all like, oh, blah, 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 like he's being flirty and stuff. And we both were kind of like, well, let him down. Like if you're not interested in seeing him again, like just say it. Like I've been always someone who's like, when I'm not into somebody, like if I go on a first date, like I always give people like the benefit of a first date, unless like they're really not somebody I'm like even interested in trying to get to know. I always give them a first date, and if I'm just really not feeling it or don't even see like the potential to like maybe feel it after another date, I just, you know, if they send the text afterwards being like, oh, I had a great time, blah, or like even just being like, even like the whole like
I feel you and I agree with you, but I also think there's like a fine line too of not giving people a chance.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Is like she gave him a chance.
I give it like, you know, a couple times, like, you know, saying 2, 3 tops.
She had her mind made up, and like she wasn't gonna change that. But then she was like allowing there to be more conversation. When I was like, well, if you already know what the answer is gonna be, like, why are you prolonging that? Like you're gonna lead him on more if you're gonna keep.
I just feel like I wonder how many like relationships, you know, are missed out on. Like specifically me, I say, like I've been saying it, like I feel like people need to meet me like more than one time.
Oh yeah, no, but
you know,
I think
saying
like,
to really understand me.
I think
because I come off like a lot of energy.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, if you already know and you already have like your vibe and you already like I've been on a couple of first dates where I just could already like I just wasn't really feeling it.
Right.
And I just didn't really, and I didn't
Respect.
really, and if I didn't really have the like want to even, if like
you don't want to invest your time.
You don't want to, if you don't want to even, because my thing is like I think it's like worse to like then have another date, and like especially if like my heart's like if I don't really want to go on another date.
Their feelings could compound even more.
Yeah, and so like I felt like dragged out at least it didn't drag out for that much longer, but like because then he soon brought up, she was just like, well, I don't want to just blurt out that like I'm not interested in seeing him again. I'm like, you don't have to, it's not blurting it out. Like you could have been like, after he was like, oh, I could have hung out for like an hour more or whatever, could have been like, well, yeah, I had a nice time meeting you or whatever, but I'm not really feeling this or that and whatever. So I just feel like there's, you know, it's a balance of like letting people down gently, but also not leading them on, I feel like.
Yeah, I think my like advice or strategy that I've been trying to implement more is like not forcing it. Like, you know, like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Like, I mean, you'll have to know when to make your move. That's on each and every person or whatever. Yeah. But like, I think you can literally try to meet up with people, even in a day it could happen. But like, you know, let it happen. Like, you know, if it doesn't happen the first time, you know, you could still meet up as friends, like, but that would require both people to not assume that like they're trying to get something out of it. Like, it's like, yo, let's just try to, you know, I'm like, what I'm trying to say is that like I go into like me, if I'm hanging out with a girl now for the first time or something like that, I try to assume that like this could lead to like nothing. Like we just might be friends, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I can't, sometimes girls are like that. Like girls just want to be friends Like, and they'll come hard at being friends.
But if you're going
it almost seems like they like you.
If you know you're going into a date, like if you're going into a date, you're going into a date. Like this is different. Like it's not like they were going into this coffee situation being like, oh, we could be friends. It was like this was a coffee date. It was a date.
I just like think it's so hard to establish what a date is like now, like especially if it's the first one. Like
I mean, but still, if it's a date, like if you're going into a date, like you meet off a dating app, and like you're both like, oh, like I want to meet you and like potentially date. Like I feel like you're going into a date.
I guess what I'm trying to say is it a possibility for this said friend to have been like, hey, look, like, you know, right now, like, you know, I don't know if I'm like feeling whatever, but like we could hang out again or whatever.
She's a big person of like, you know, which I don't like using the whole like we could be friends though.
Right, exactly.
Crutch. Like I don't really like that much. Like unless like you truly mean it. Like I'm someone who loves making friends, but I'm not. If like I'm going into something like she was going into this, like, you know, she's trying to date potentially. Like I'm not. Then I'm not really. I'm not here to make friends. Like I'm not really trying.
Yeah,
to make friends.
Like I don't know. I just think that like
it's
closing yourself off to not like at least like building like building something with someone could potentially, because that relationship you don't know like could open her up to all these different guys. Of course.
Well, that's the thing is like, yeah, but like so she might like become friends with this dude. I think she's like, oh, we could probably be friends. Like when she was telling us like afterwards, she's like, but I'm just not interested in him at all. I'm like, okay, but like, do you actually want to be friends? And she was like kind of iffy about it. And I feel like it's like, don't like what you said, don't force it. Like I feel like sometimes, especially women, I feel like women are, because they don't want to hurt people's feelings more often than not. I feel like they'll force the whole like, well, we could be friends, like let's
just don't say that line
and like whatever, like blah blah blah. And I just feel like it's like,
just be friends. You don't have to call it friends. Like,
well, but you kind of do though. I feel like there's a need to like be like clear that that's the intention. Otherwise, that's where wires get crossed.
If someone made a move, though, like, you know what I'm saying?
But if you guys were, but
I just like it goes back to this conversation that we had a long time ago, assuming that someone just you could be catching vibes or something. But like, what if that person just wants to be friends too?
But if these people went into this situation expecting like a date, like they're going into a date to potentially date each other, like that's where I think it's a little iffier, where you can't just like assume like wither away and just be like, oh, like I'm not really interested in you, like, but we can hang out. Like I don't think like you can say that without being like, I'd rather us be friends. Like I think that's the only way you can do it. I don't think you can like
I hate that
offer
line
up.
so much.
I know. I mean, it's not great, and I think it's just. I mean, it's gained awful. Like it's just gained like kind of a shitty connotation because people have overused it when they don't actually mean it, and I think that's the bigger issue and that's why I'm very much so like I don't love the whole like I try to, and I'm not trying to just be mean to people or like just like I think I try to be more firm, and because it's also like I have to like worry about myself, and like I'm not here because like I'm someone who I put a lot of myself into like other people, and I can't be like starting to throw energy into somebody that I'm not like interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Said the girl that went on a nap to get more friends.
That's because I had no friends when I moved here. It was to get I was to get a group of girlfriends.
I'm just joking.
And plus, that was the setup. You know, situation. We knew we were there for friends.
True.
We knew it.
But what if one of them liked you and wanted to date you?
Then it would be. then I would have to lay down the line.
But what if it was something? I'm just joking.
It wouldn't be if that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, no. I think it's just like, you have to just be self-aware and conscious of the situation and try not to like, just hope or wish things into like it happening. Like you just kind of have to like, understand that if someone's like catch vibes, you know what I'm saying? Just feel the vibes. If someone likes you, you're going to know.
Slash also like communication.
Everyone does it. Like once you start like realizing that, like, think about it. just literally think about it. The girls out there or guys out there that are like, oh, he's being such a dick, or she won't respond to me and all that stuff. But then if like really think about like, have you ever done that to somebody?
Yeah.
You have. So just think about how you feel when like, you know, you get it.
Well, that's why
and try not to do that to people.
That's why I try
get
to
yourself
never.
in those situations.
I hate ghosting.
Yeah.
I hate ghosting so much. That's why.
That's the show that Rachel Lindsay and T Mills are doing. Ghost.
Yes. That's why I guess I'm pretty upfront. And potentially, I guess, like if when I explain it to some people, it might seem a little blunt or it might seem potentially mean. But I'm not gonna, if I go like on a date with somebody or a couple dates with them and I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna just like disappear. I'm gonna be like, hey, like I'm
the same way. That's
like,
the way I am.
Because like I'd rather, because like then if you don't get like that, you feel so shitty. Like when you're the one who's
especially if you're hooking
ghosted.
up with them too. Like you know, if you're like hooking up with them, like. I believe like, yeah, I guess you can just hook up with like without like feelings or whatever, but like
potentially
but somebody usually catches
person.
feelings, like, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I feel like ghosting really doesn't take into account that like how much another person might be invested. Even like for me, if it's been only like a couple of dates and like maybe we haven't like hooked up or something, but like I'm not feeling this, whatever. I mean,
you can
just,
see that like with Bachelor in Paradise.
You can't
like,
just,
you know,
you can't just ghost, because then it's like the person's like, if that person was maybe feeling stronger things, they're gonna be like, oh, what did I do wrong? Like, and then that might like stunt them in their
some
like
people
other
literally
relationships.
like, you know, have the first night where they like actually like have sex or something like that, and then they like picture the rest of their life like kids, and you know,
sometimes like I mean like I don't know
family, marriage.
I don't know if I don't know if I like super believe in like love at first sight, but like some people do and feel that, and
I think I believe in it. I just don't think that lasts.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like it like we like when Caleb and Melissa were here, new relationship energy. That's a real thing.
Relationship
if you pile too much like stuff into that time, like you're just ending. It's gonna end in like even worse disaster. You know, so it's like it's kind of crazy out there. It's gotta be careful with people's feelings.
Amen.
Yeah, you know, because we all got them.
Yeah.
So.
Indeed.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're a robot.
Yeah. And honestly, there could be robots out here with no feelings one day. So careful for them.
Let's be careful.
Why don't we talk about some Bachelor in Paradise? It's a season finale.
Season finale. It was 3 hours. Honestly, they could have cut a full hour of it because some of it was stupid.
Right.
Like, okay, my thing is, I don't understand. So, you know, they had to all make the decisions if they were like, okay, we're going to move forward and go to like the fantasy suites, whatever. But then they actually had to make the decisions when they got to the nice hotel if they were actually going to like go through with staying in the fantasy suite together. And I was like, okay, what's the point? Like, this is an extra step that we didn't need to do. But they did it for the drama. Because
yeah, I mean, so everyone got to stay in the fantasy suite except for Nicole and Clay, which was a really weird situation. Like, I don't still understand what happened there.
So Clay is a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, he is.
And,
but I don't know.
And Nicole loves really fucking hard. She's also a little. They're both like they're a little too opposite in this situation because Clay is
one's like
obviously
too cold and one's too hot.
Like
you know?
Clay is obviously very afraid of commitment. Obviously, that's why. I mean, but he'll act like he's into it until like it actually comes to
having to make a decision.
Having to do that, actually having to follow through. And he's like, oh, shit. I feel like that's what happened with him and Angela. Like, you know, they were starting to get serious. And then he was like, poof, I can't do it. And then with him and Nicole, they're, you know, reading the card. And he's all like, he couldn't even fucking talk to her eyes. He was like talking into his lap and whining and being like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah.
What didn't he want to do, though? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I truly... I pretty much like he wasn't really saying much of anything, to be honest.
I mean, I guess she did have a reason to be that mad about it.
Like,
it's like, dude, what are you talking about? You need a night. What do you got to do tonight? Like, why can't we just hang out together?
Like,
doesn't have to be sex or like whatever.
Like, how are we supposed to like get to know each other more and figure this out more if like we don't spend this time together?
I would be mad and upset. Like now that I'm thinking about it.
Like, so I understand her being upset, and also like then he was like trying to like discuss more, and she's like, no, you said you need your space. Like,
and I'm gonna stay here,
like,
so you go.
Get out. Like, if you need your space, go get it. Which like I was like, okay, Nicole, like good for you. And so like then they had like a funny the montage because like everybody else stays together, like, you know, Christian and Demi, Dylan and Hannah, Katie and Chris. Is that all of them?
You say Demi and Christian?
Yeah.
Sorry. Chris and Katie.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, I said
I'm
all
slow.
of them. So like they're all being cute and having fun and like rolling around on beds, and then it's just like Nicole like staring out, like tears dripping down her face at the fireworks.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That's funny.
So everybody pretty much gets engaged except for them.
Except for them, and my biggest thing is like, you know, he is like, he couldn't even say that he loved her, and she's like, okay, well then I gotta go, like then this is over, like we're not even gonna try to.
Which is weird. Why were they not at the reunion?
Maybe they like really couldn't be by each other, like who knows, like I feel like also like maybe he just really was like, I can't deal with this, and then also
do you think they were edited out? Do you think they were there?
Angela there. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to.
I'm like really confused by it. I think it must have just been like Clay just like feels stupid.
I mean, because he kind of looked stupid. I mean, I think Nicole was expecting, in real world standards, Nicole would be expecting a lot to be like, how come you can't say you love me? Like,
right.
We've known each other for 4 weeks.
Right.
But like, but I mean, everyone else, like,
it's Clay's indecisiveness. Like,
he's
you know
indecisive. And then he like, I don't know. He seemed kind of shitty when he was like leaving in the van, and he's like, oh man, Nicole's so great, but where's the nearest pub?
Well, hold on.
Like,
I didn't see what's his name at the after the final rose. Garrett, or what was his name? The one that was with Angela. Chase. Was he there?
No.
So I think something might have happened with Angela, maybe.
Who's to say? I don't know yet, because Angela didn't even really talk.
Right.
After the.
But she was there.
But she was there.
Well, let's get into the like the actual drama of this show, because we know who ends up being engaged. Yeah. Do they stick together and stuff? We'll find out now.
Yeah.
So where do we start there?
So to start there, I guess like first things first, we saw like the crazy ending with Tayshia, with how her and JPJ didn't even make it to Fantasy Suites. Well, she realized like after she got home and was talking to everybody, she's like, damn it, I regret my decision. Mm-hmm. And so she flew to Maryland, where JPJ lives, and I don't know whose house that was. I don't know if that was his parents' house.
Why?
Because it was a fucking humongous house.
Whatever. He was so excited though.
He was so excited. So like they hung out, and they've been, my friend Christine, she lives in Baltimore, mm-hmm. and so she's like seen that like she's been different places not far from where she is and everything. So like she's been around though. Some people say that they might not still be together now, but it looks like they're still together, because this was filmed like a couple weeks ago, like the end of August, after the final rose. And so they came on and like they sat on the hot seat together, and
How did they film this and then announce The Bachelor? Like, you know, saying, doesn't it have to be live?
No.
So the whole crowd keeps a secret of who The Bachelor is?
Well, how do you think? I mean, like, we all fucking knew about it.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I knew about it before they probably filmed it, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I mean, like, that's the thing is like, no, it gets out. Like, people figure it out. I mean, and I don't think I think it's gotten to a point where like ABC doesn't really give a shit, because they've spoiled their own secret. They spoiled, like, remember when
people are
Rachel,
still gonna watch it anyways.
Yeah, like people are gonna watch it. Like, we're not really.
But I just feel like that's a huge draw.
Like they were all like the moment you've all been waiting for, and it's like we all already know.
Yeah, but I just think that there's value in the surprise of it. I know. For them. I don't think they'd want to lose.
They try to film it as close as they can, I think, mm-hmm. but that's why they filmed that part like a week or two before it airs. Mm-hmm. But it's still, they film it. But yeah, so they seem to be good.
Yeah.
There seems to be a little bit of trouble with Katie and Chris. So Katie comes out first alone.
Oh, a little bit of trouble? No, there's a lot of trouble. Those guys shouldn't be together.
Well, he has been tweeting like cute pictures of them, and like they've been posting cute stuff that like, they're like, love is patient, love is kind, like they're still together. Well, like,
this is my thing.
He's been working on stuff. Or,
this is my thing on him. He's the most cast member on it.
Most frequent Bachelor Nation attendee.
Yeah. So he's obviously in it for camera time.
Yeah, no, the whole like him coming out of retirement to go on to this season.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
So like this guy, he's like, doing this for
probably some wrong reasons.
My whole thing is that like, well, this is what I wanted to kind of get into like a little bit now that I think about it, is what Bachelor Nation, like what Bachelor in Paradise is actually doing, and it's doing it exponentially faster than the franchises of Bachelor and Bachelorette. Actually, Bachelor and Bachelorette are just like feeding the Bachelor in Paradise franchise, because what they really want is couples out of this show. And the more couples that are on the show, they can say like, look, it actually works, like, you know, and it's more money and it's true love and all that stuff. And having them come out of Bachelor in Paradise, you can get like 3 or 4 of them like in one season, as opposed to maybe like you might not even get one between
like
Bachelor and Bachelorette.
With Hannah and
Colton,
stuff.
Colton got one, so yeah, you got one there. But like, you know, so with that being said, it just also feeds back into the type of people that are going to want to be on the show and continue to be on the show, because there's value on reoccurring on this you know, franchise. And also there's money in like social media, there's money, you get to be on morning shows like as guests, it's just all like driven. So that's why these people are really intent on becoming a couple through this franchise, and they're even willing to just put on a show and try to be like a gentleman and like the perfect guy for this perfect girl, just because like there's value in it. And like I just really think a lot of these people, and it'd probably be myself included, are like addicted to the fame. It's like a its own hype beast. So
well, like even like Jordan brought up like with the whole Blake, like we'll get into the Blake situation a little bit later, but like when he got like the whole like that whole mess, he's all like, you know, it wasn't until this season that like everybody already like was hanging out with each other and like hitting up each other and everything like that. He's like, we weren't doing this for my season, like we weren't like already like, you know, hanging out, meeting up, doing all these things with each other. Like it's like the whole point of this is that you're going into it like with like your blind, it's like giant blind date, like you want to be able to go into this without any.
Who was saying this?
Like Jordan said that, and then like Cam like sort of built on it, but like
oh my god, Cam should not have spoke.
He was such
because he got slayed so hard.
They're like, bro, you were thirsty as hell to hang out with all of us. Damn. Like, come on, man.
Oh man, it really fit that. But you know, when all that was happening, it really brought me back to high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was like some high school stuff that was going on there.
Like
there's the popular people. There's the mean girl that's like throws all the parties. There's the nerdy kid.
Like, I mean, like that kind of like sociology, like that kind of stuff gets repeated in like this kind of environment. Definitely, the
popular kids
repeats it, and like, you know, for Katie,
bullying
for Katie and Chris, like Katie is like, yo, like he's not giving me anything that I thought he was gonna be giving to me, like especially after his proposal, which I feel like she looked very surprised during the proposal. I don't think she expected him to be that emotional, and like
also he at one point sounded like he was gonna break up with her. Yeah,
and so I just think, you know, that's that. And it's like she
said herself like he's a good talker, you know. So like I'm not surprised that he was able to do a good proposal for television. But you could tell, like, from the behind-the-scenes stuff and the way he was like, he felt like he was caught off guard. And he also looked like an asshole when the cameras are, like, not really filming, like, when the lights are not on and stuff. So it's just like, you know, so they probably shouldn't be together.
They're according to Reality Steve, they're still together, so.
Yeah, like I said, people just do it for the followers sometimes.
Who's to say?
What else we got?
Let's get into Blake. The piece of shit that he is. So, you know, he gets to do the hot seat. Watching his face, it was great watching his face throughout the entire show, because like they kept going to his face and his facial reactions to literally anything that anybody else was saying, or like during when they played back, you know, scenes from the show and whatever, showed him like him pursing his lips and whatever. And so he gets up there and he's really just trying to play the victim. He's trying to act like, you know, and he's also trying to act like he knew that he was going to struggle on Bachelor in Paradise. Like he's like, oh, I knew going in because of all this stuff. A hit. Yeah, I was gonna, and I'm like, no, you didn't. You acted like you didn't. Like you acted like this wasn't gonna happen. And also just like the whole him visiting Hannah got brought up, and they were like, oh yeah, it was just to talk. And like I loved Sydney was all like, I don't know any guy that would just fly to Alabama just to talk.
Well, that's what that goes back to the point of what Jordan was saying, is like, you guys all were talking to each other and hanging out about you. This is the first time, it's unprecedented, that you guys are all talking before the show. So you're coming here with pre-existing plans and conversations, and it's like it brought a lot of drama to the show for sure. I'm not hating on it, but it's like it is like compromising.
It compromises the show, the integrity of the show. It also just like compromises like how you're actually going to be able to view these people, because you're viewing them in like two different, like multiple different scenarios, just little snippets, and you're not going to get a full picture. Like you're just not. It's just not going to work.
Well, I mean, it's unfair to begin with anyways, because most of the people have seen you on your season of The Bachelor, Bachelorette, and judging you off of that already.
But I feel like everybody knows like how they've been. I feel like that's more of like an even playing field for everybody, because they all know like how that works.
Okay.
But anyway, so Blake, and then of course Blake has to bring up the whole. They had to bring up the whole like him posting the text conversations, which everybody kind of came up and being like, okay, so you posted very specifically selected text messages to then post, to then like, try to be all like, oh, like, woe is me, like, I have to defend myself. And he even was like trying to be like, I feel like everyone's missing the point. Like, she was attacking me on the show. And like, Kaylin, came clean. She was like, I was really emotional. I shouldn't have, like, behaved the way I did on the show. And I'm very sorry for, like, how that came off and, like, what that meant for different things with Blake on the show. Like, she said that multiple times. And homie and Blake literally had to make sure that everybody kept reframing it, being all like, well, I had to post these text messages, like blah blah blah. And then when I realized that she would get some hate, like, and even Dean was like, man, you told me you were gonna post those, and but
they're still friends.
Yeah, they're both like slightly sociopathic, but
crazy. I wouldn't be able to hang, like, out of all the people you think Dean, but like that's how sick the franchise and incestual it is.
It's so
like,
incestual.
Oh, it's all good. You hooked up with my girlfriend and like treated her like shit, but we're still gonna be like at a baseball game together.
Yeah, like he texted, like I guess he had texted Dean being all like, oh, I know she's gonna get some like hate for this.
Yeah, you have to understand. I gotta do this because
and he's like, so Dean's like, so you knew what was gonna happen. Like, don't act like you didn't know.
Yeah.
And also,
and he was trying to say that like he knew that she was gonna get backlash for being a liar, but he didn't. He was surprised by the backlash of her being like,
that he was like but he was slut shaming her. Like, it was like, how could you be so like, that's just going back to how he was only really thinking about protecting himself and making sure that he was seen as the victim. He wasn't even thinking about like what it would really mean for Kaylin and like how it was really going to be portrayed for her. Like,
yeah, but all right. So this is my problem with like the fact of it being called slut shame, or just like bringing up that topic, is because like, what is the equivalent of it for guys?
It would be
because like, then isn't that essentially what Kaylin came on the show and did, was like kind of like expose all the girls that he's hooked up with and try to like make him like look bad by being a slut or whatever? Because that's my only issue with like, and I'm glad you brought up the slut shaming thing, because I just didn't. It can tend to be a touchy subject, and just in general, but like that's how I kind of felt. Like, he did say that last night, not a great defense, because it really comes down to, what would you rather do, man? Have her say she's sorry for this and expose like the fact that you're an asshole and you should have been the bigger man, like, and just like take the higher road and take the hit like you said you thought you were going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And just still like have a little integrity. And instead, you messed up. Like, you sent the text, and what was the worth of it? Just so people knew? Like, now you have to convince everybody that we're missing the point. Like, no. Do we see it?
Yeah,
but it's just like a slimy thing for you to do. But at the same time, I want to know what you think about
I also think it comes down to how both of these situations how they went down. So, with the whole Kaylin Blake going in, she thought it had been discussed that they were going to be more upfront about it. They were going to like just say what happened. And plus, I think that...
No, they said they weren't going to talk about it unless it was brought up. But then Kaylin went in like swinging with
she didn't tell, like, she started telling people, but that was like wasn't her plan from the get-go. I think, it definitely wasn't good that she was saying all this stuff. I mean, Christina found
she caught feelings. Like, Blake was trying to play the game. Like, they had they had a conversation, and he was under the impression that like we're going to like have fun with this over here. Everyone hooks up, and then she went there. And actually probably had like a little bit of feelings for Blake, and Blake was like ignoring her because he's already been there, and for newer girls, and she got feelings and started talking a lot of shit about it. And that's where like, you know, that's where she did like, I feel like slut shame him, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Originally. So, you know,
but like
that's why I'm like, you know, I don't think he really meant this like slut shamer, but it's like,
but also like he's taking her text out of context. I think it's
that's
like,
true.
He's taking her stuff, and without a little, like, at least like him and her had a discussion about like how they were planning to handle like going to Paradise, and like people were gonna know, or like gonna find out if people
but
asked,
also
like,
his story
whatever.
is out of context too, because now we have like a little bit more of the story of like Christina saying that like we weren't really anything, we did hook up, but like it wasn't like
there was like they had a longer situation, like they dated for like a longer amount
right
of time.
But she said at that point like, yeah, I was disappointed when he told me like 3 days before, like whatever, but like,
yeah,
you know,
but
they
I
weren't
mean, like,
anything, so
but
he was
like,
just a guy having sex with like with the prospects that he had.
Yeah,
he's don't get me wrong, like he's definitely dumb, like, you know what I'm saying, and an asshole and shit, like, you know, for posting his text. He could have taken a higher route and just been like whatever, and you know, eventually people could have probably, even Kaylin could have been on his side, but like it just went too far. Kaylin, imagine if he didn't do the text, Kaylin would still probably apologize to him, because like they all know. Well, yeah, like, you know, they would have a conversation
because she understood, and like that made her like kind of the higher person in that position.
Exactly, she was the bigger man,
and he just needed, and he like refused to actually like fully apologize.
And all
to
the
her.
cast members were like, "Dude, just end it on a good note. Just say you're sorry.
Say you're sorry.
It's over.
Like,
the gig is up.
Apologize. Like, what are you trying to do?" And he didn't even fully apologize. He said, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which isn't a true apology. Like that's not how apologies work. Like you don't, like, that doesn't hold any weight.
I think that, you know, they're on the verge of doing you know, it would be crazy if like The Bachelor came out. Like, I swear to God, I've been predicting like things lately. Like, I said like 2 weeks ago that like they're gonna watch and make a remake of Face Off with like John Travolta and Nicolas Cage and shit. And I just saw like a story that they're remaking it and shit. But with that being said, like,
when did you? Okay.
No, I've been saying that for like a while. I just think it's like a really good movie, and I knew that they were gonna reboot it. Movie. But you never seen Face Off?
No.
Oh my God, it's a really good movie. But anyways, you know, I feel like, you know, they would be interesting to if like Bachelor actually made their own like spin-off reality, like it's like kind of like The Hills, but like based off of like characters from the show and stuff like that. Because what I was getting was like Blake, you know, like the little bit behind the scenes when they're like, he's crying and like Christina's like hugging him, like those are like kind of like they're realer moments than like what we see like on the beach, but it's still kind of the same shit. But like, you know, he's sitting there talking to other cast members like, all right, guys, back on the set, everyone back in their seats. And like, you know, JPJ is like going to him and being like, yo, dude, I'm sorry. He was like, yeah, man, that was brutal. Like, you know, just like, that's some real stuff. Like if I was on the show for some reason I went through some fire like that, I'd be like, holy crap, bro. Like, you know, they know they're gonna get it. Like, this is the moment that they've been waiting for, to see how everyone's gonna fucking turn on them. And it's just like they go through their fire and then have to try to come out on the other side. Like, you know, the only thing you can really say is like, I made mistakes, I'm not perfect, and I'm just gonna, you know, try to learn from them and be a better person every day. Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. You know, it doesn't take much to just apologize, you know?
No, it doesn't, but it did for him.
But it shows a lot when you can't.
Yeah, it shows a lot. He just really wanted everyone to know that he was a victim. Mm-hmm. That's all he cared about. What
happens is like when you have like people in your corner, like trying to like, you know, support, like that must mean like your parents are not telling you like, dude, like they have your back on this. They're like, you know, yeah, you had to release those text messages. Otherwise, like, you know, it's just sometimes you can't, you just have to say you're sorry and be the bigger person. There's just a lot of times to be the bigger man, you know, or bigger person. So yeah, anyways, so how did this all end? They ended it with...
There's, you know, nice palette cleansers with Hannah and Dylan, because they're like, we're all right, we love each other, blah, blah, blah. She moved to LA, everyone's moving to LA, whatever. Of course. And then Demi moved to LA to be closer to Christian. They are together. Christian gave her... got down on one knee and gave her a ring because Demi was the one who proposed. I loved it. Mm-hmm. I hate Neil Lane's rings. They're ugly as fuck. Mm-hmm. and I'll say that till the day I die.
I know they threw in like a Chris Harrison voiceover, like
They're like, Neil Lane,
you really outdone yourself. These are beautiful. Like it wasn't.
I'm like, ugly. These are ugly. At least their memes were like a little bit simpler than the ones like they gave the dudes to give to, like, you know, Hannah and Katie and whatever. They had like the ugly ass giant double halos. I hate those. I hate them so much.
Well, they ended the show.
Yeah.
Jordan and Christian were like getting in a fight.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
And then, you know, Mike, I don't know why Mike has to insert himself in those things.
Whatever. I like Mike. I like Mike's commentary.
I don't actually. Like,
I
it's
think
just like he uses his energy to do the wrong things.
Nuh-uh. I think he was making good points. Like, I just think he understands, like, you know, he's a mediator. Maybe he doesn't need to mediate all the time. But I think that's a skill of his is that he, like, is a mediator. Like, he's...
No, that's just like, you know, inserting yourself in things that don't concern you. Like, mind your own business.
Well, I mean, like, technically, they're all on that stage. Everything's concerning them at that point.
Yeah, but it's still, like, as like a man, like, to man or person to person, it's just like, if it has nothing to do with you, like, and it comes off negatively, like, to people like me. You might think, you know, nothing of it, but to me, I like Mike, but, like, when he does that, it's like, dude, just, like, let them, like, you know, talk it out. Let them look stupid.
Like, but all of them were also, like, it wasn't just Mike. It was, like, all of them were, like, come on, guys. Like, why? Like, don't be dumb. Like, Demi was like, come on, guys. Like, this is a television show. Like, let's act like adults.
Yeah, the one, like, you know, people are like trying to like say their side of it, and you're sitting here with your commentary. It's like, dude, you're cutting him off. Let him say his 2 cents first of all, because I don't want to hear what Mike has to say about it. I want to hear what Jordan has to say about it if they're giving him the camera time, and you know, so that was my whole thing. But you know,
Mike's doing fine. Him and Demi are potentially dating. So.
We'll see. You
Him
know,
and Demi Lovato, that is.
Yeah, Demi, not Demi, not Lovato. Demi Lovato.
Demi Lovato.
So do you think that's going to be a thing?
Potentially. I mean, I think just a whole new world that, you know, they're like celebrities. And I think that could be a thing.
Do you think he would have made a good bachelor?
Yeah. I think he would be way more interesting than Peter.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know because Peter's the bachelor. And thank God they didn't do the bullshit at the end of this one where being like, and we brought the first 5 people. Because I hate that. And it's
they what?
Wherever they bring like the first 5 people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
But I feel like they only do it for Bachelorette seasons.
Well, I also like
I hate it.
I used to think that might be an advantage for like the 5 people, but then it also isn't.
Because Cam came on that. He obviously didn't do well.
Right. Or just like it just puts too much like focus on you beforehand. Like someone else could come in and just like, or like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know if it's good. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that either. But I'm am glad to get like 4 hours back in my life this week. And as we go on this hiatus until the Future Bachelor starts.
Future Bachelor.
Well,
the
Future Bachelor. The Future Bachelor was announced. It's Pilot Peter from Hannah's season. If you remember him, he's of Lighthouse fame. So windmill, whatever, same difference. It's like one has a light, one has a mill.
They do way different things.
Yeah, but they both have like, you know, they're in the sky and stuff. So so anyways, I think, you know, it's gonna be interesting winter with our main topics and stuff. But like, I'm happy.
I just feel like this season started to drag. I feel like they really. There was fun drama here and there, but like they dragged it out. Like honestly, most of the stuff, like not that much happened each episode, really truly. And I feel like they probably really could have like cut it down a bit. But God forbid.
I also feel like the off season is a great opportunity for us as podcasters to bring in new listeners, because they're like, if they're not fans of The Bachelor or Bachelorette, like it's like they can listen to weeks of episodes until like they're like, wait a second, why are they starting to talk about Bachelor, like, and like already like us enough where they're just like, we're just gonna listen to this, and maybe they start watching Bachelor. So that's the whole point, right?
People to do that.
Hell
for
yeah.
Sure.
So as you know, what do you think about this season? Is it been your favorite season of Bachelor in Paradise?
I don't really think I have like favorites.
I think the latest season is always my favorite.
I don't really have favorites of Bachelor in Paradise because like they're different. It's not like I'm rooting for. I mean, I like this one a lot because of like I really enjoyed the demi-Christian, like how they allowed that to kind of breathe more and how they allowed them to have like work through some stuff more than I feel like they might have in the past. But I do feel like this was like their easiest way for them to get some to get their like good diversity card in there, because they're like, oh, well, we had a like, two women together, like an LGBTQ couple. But it's like, okay, you went with they're two beautiful femme blonde women, like white women, like, okay. And so I feel like they're like, that was our diversity. All right, Peter, you can be our bachelor.
Well, I think what they're going to start doing now is finding more contestants that are bisexual.
Well, because
they're going to be, but the messed up part about it is that they're going to force them to be like heterosexual the first season just to get them on Bachelor in Paradise, where they can like canoodle with more.
There was a bisexual on Nick's season.
Yes, I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're putting them on a show. Or I guess they're signing up for it, but you're going on a show. They might be casted just because of their sexual orientation and forced to just date a male person just to get on to Bachelor in Paradise, where they'd be able to have bisexual.
I don't know. I don't like the force, but like, they could be doing that now. They could just be looking for more token, non-heteros, just to see, like, being like, look at us, like we care about the LGBTQ community, which I think isn't. You can be bisexual, obviously, and be married to someone of the opposite sex, but
it was weird to hear Chris Harrison say the word queer, though, isn't it? Like, it just felt weird.
I know.
Didn't it? I know. What did he say?
I don't even remember.
He was like the first like queer queen of like, or something like that, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? Yeah, didn't he say something like that?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have remembered that if that's what he said, but
yeah, I just watched it. Like, I had not been able to watch it because I was on that deadline and stuff, and at the company until like 10 p.m. last night. So, I just saw it and I was like, what? Chris,
Weird that I didn't catch that.
But anywho, why don't we get into our slapper of the week? This has been a song, that I thought was pretty cool. When I first heard the snippet, the beat itself was pretty hype. Yeah. So, it has three of the biggest like female singers at the moment, pop stars: Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, and Lana Del Rey. Huge fan, pretty much of all of them. But Lana Del Rey is one that I've been a fan of the longest, and legit, like, as a pop star, she's just different. You know what I'm saying? She has a very like holy sound. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like angelic type, like pop
dark.
music, dark.
She's like dark pop.
Right, and she always has her own style. So like even on this song, when her verse drops, it's like
it's very Lana.
Yeah, it switches up just for her style. So and Miley comes in with that energy right off the bat. I'll scooter into your place this weekend listening to the song. I was like, don't come. I was like, it was hard. So I was up between this and Charlie Puth released a new single called Mother.
So was I.
What's that?
So was I. Those were both my suggestions.
Oh yeah. So obviously I'm a huge fan of Charlie Puth, and I'll be honest, the first time I heard it, not only because like I just made a song about my mother, so I was like, yo, this guy's making mom songs. But
me and Charlie Puth are like the same person.
Yeah, and he's doing the above like laying down camera shot, just like it was weird.
And the handkerchief. Yeah, you guys are the same.
The messed up part is
You're
that
the brown Charlie Puth.
I always send my videos and stuff to Charlie Puth. Like, that's just something I do.
Oh wow, you just DM him like, hey man.
I get scared sometimes because I do that, and I feel like maybe artists could see those things and then just draw inspiration from like nobodies, like, you know what I'm saying? So regardless, he dropped a song, and I didn't really like it at first, to be honest.
I liked
it. It reminded me of like a Michael Jackson song. I can't really remember which one it reminds me of, but regardless, every time I hear it, it gets better. And then I saw him perform it live, and I'm just like, I just really like it now. Yeah, so
I liked the song that we're about to play from the get-go. I was hyped about it.
It's from the new Charlie's Angels reboot. So let's just get right into it because it's a bop and it's definitely a slapper.
I'm going to be singing along.
Let's go.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
Yeah. Slapper, come on. Yeah. Don't Call Me Angel, Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, Lana Del Rey. Slapper of the week. Definitely slaps.
So fucking good, dude.
Yeah, you love that song.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, you do.
So
Do you have any shout outs, V?
So I already shouted out Maggie and Catherine.
Shout out to them.
But I also wanted to do a random shout out to my realtor, Roseanne Dorfman, because her husband, his cousin, is Andy Dorfman from The Bachelor Nation. She texted me yesterday asking me about some stuff because she knows I'm potentially planning on buying a place in the near future, and it was asking if I wanted to go to some like open house thing or whatever, and I said I couldn't go, and I brought up the podcast, and she's like, oh my god, my husband's cousin was on the show. And I thought like maybe just like as a contestant, and I was like, Dorfman. I was like, wait a second. She's like, yeah, Andy Dorfman, I don't know if you watched her seasons. I'm like, I watched her seasons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I've run into her ex because her ex is Josh Murray and he lives in Atlanta, and I've run into him a couple of times in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm like, weird. So it's a small world, is what I
Shout
always
out to
say.
her.
It's
Welcome to the Future Batch fam.
I know.
All right, well, I got a couple. I wanted to shout out my friend Lindsay Butt.
What a great name.
Yeah, that's actually her name.
I love it.
We randomly met at Little Spirit this past week. I was out with my friend Jenny and my friend Paul, and we were just like having a good old time, and we met out there. And
Good old time.
Yeah, she's awesome. So I wanted to shout out to her. I wanted to shout out to El Mariano because she was this really pretty girl I met at Music Midtown. You actually caught like video of it. I was like, oh my god, that was her.
Wow.
But yeah, she was like from Orlando and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think she goes to FSU. So yeah, it was really nice to meet you. And I think I gave her stickers. We gave out a lot of stickers.
That's
that day.
probably where some of my stickers went.
Yes, I believe I was like, you got any stickers? But
Yep.
so yeah, shout out to them. And then I just wanted to give a last shout out to Alyssa and Mike. I'll be going to Vermont this weekend for their wedding.
Oh, Vermont.
Yeah, Alyssa is from my graduating class in high school and stuff. So just another one of my friends getting married, and it's awesome because that's all my high school buddies. Like everybody gets to go to these.
So are you still close with like obviously like
with who?
Like just everybody.
Oh, everybody. Yeah, I'm one of those people that like. You know, I think a big part of it is there's a house that lives there that a lot of them like still like live there, and but also like I've throughout the years I'm kept like I'm like you keep in touch. You hit people up on their birthdays or when you're thinking about them and stuff. So yeah, I'm lucky to have a group of friends from high school that are still like my like best friends and stuff, and some of those are girls and they're getting married now, and I get like scared sometimes like that, like I'm gonna run out of friends that are gonna get married and we don't have these parties anymore that we all get together and make memories at. I guess we have to make a better effort to like get together and for reasons, you know. They were talking about having like a 15-year reunion for us here coming up soon in 2020, so that might be a thing. But yeah, I'll be heading up to Burlington and going through my hometown this weekend, so that's what I'll be. And also I had a really good time with Maggie and Catherine too, so thank you for introducing me to them. I hope to party with them soon. So you got anything going into this weekend? Not really.
I don't really know.
I'm sure you'll find something fun, something super hectic to get into.
Super hectic.
So
yeah, I feel like I have something that I'm supposed to do besides like watch college football, which I do every weekend, but I don't know.
I'm hoping at some point I get my I collect myself because it's been really like super hectic. Like, dude, it's been crazy with this
hectic.
You know, so I need to get more sleep and get to the gym. So with that being said, I got an early workout tomorrow morning.
I'm yawning.
Yeah, don't make me yawn. All right, guys. Well, that's been Future Bachelor. We'll see you next week with episode 79, and then we're hitting the 80s, dude. That's crazy. Hey. Okay. Future Bachelor, guys. My name is Cy.
I'm Veronica.
We love you and see you next week. Deuces.
Bye.
Future Bachelor Podcast.